this section is about insulation materials for this property. This property currently is a double brick, which is 215mm thick of double brick, with a lime plaster on the inside and a cement / lime plaster mortar on the outside as an exterior rendering with pebble dashing on it. It gives the current wall U value is 2.64, which is pretty high. With regards to U value, the lower the number, the better. And the U value of the single glazed windows, without any correction factors for the lack of draft proofing and the gaps where the sills rotted away, is about 5.8 without correction. But obviously, if you've got gaps in your frames, you can't do their calculations because it just doesn't work. Okay, the insulation I'm going to put on is 150mm of extruded polystyrene, not expanded, extruded. It's a big difference. The extruded polystyrene is a lot denser material because it's extruded. It's basically like you would use with a silicone gun, where you push pressure on the back end of the silicone unit and it pushes out the bead of silicone. That's how materials are extruded rather than expanded, which is, or the beads are basically put into a box. Box is closed, they're steamed together, so they basically bond together with the heat. That's the difference between expanded and extruded in layman's terms. Okay, so 150mm of extruded polystyrene on the outside, 50mm of extruded polystyrene on the inside, followed by a 12.5mm plasterboard. There's various types of plasterboard on the market, it's whatever someone's going to give it. Okay, and then on the outside there'll be a silicone based render, which will have a reinforced wire mesh. An alkaline, it has to have an alkaline resistant reinforcement mesh on the in the actual render on the outside, stop any crackings, and then secondary reinforcing around the windows with the same resistant mesh basically. Okay, the new U value works out to new U value works out 0.14, which is approximately the same as the current building regs for a new build. Obviously I need to edit this a bit. Okay, there's different types of insulation materials. This is the cheapest, polystyrene. This is expanded polystyrene, not extruded, expanded. Very soft, breaks easily. Okay, and you've got various of the polyurethane, which I haven't got a sample of, which is basically the same that you get in expanding foam. That's the type of polyurethane. Then you've got PIR, which is a polyisocyanate. I believe that's how it's pronounced. Someone will correct me on this, I'm sure. Okay, which is this. Used this stuff before. It's very good. You get your insulation materials. Obviously you either mechanically fix them to the walls with bolts, driving nails, screw, wall plugs, hammer fixings. There's various ways of fastening them to the wall. Just make sure you put enough fastenings in basically. If you're going to if you like doing a flat roof on the garage and you want to put insulation on and then a glass fibre over the top of it, there's some things you know about glass fibring when you're doing glass fibring on flat roofs. I've seen this firsthand. I'll tell you the story. Basically I went to have a look at this property. There was issues with the roof leaking. What they'd done, they'd installed polystyrene roofing insulation like this, and then put glass reinforced plastic over it. Now the glass reinforced plastic, the fiberglass, basically dissolved the expanded polystyrene like this. Completely destroyed the roofing. Melted well through. Obviously it created holes in it. Looks good on the outside, but underneath everything's cracking and the holes forming. So obviously disintegrated very quickly. So obviously if you're going to use something like glass reinforced plastic roofs, make sure if you're bonding it directly over insulation, it's something like this. This is PIR. It should be okay. It's a glass fibre over the top, but it's always best if you're going to glass fibre a flat roof, make sure you fiberglass over something like OSB 3 boards. Ideally tongued and grooved OSB 3 boards on the top. You have no issues. Okay. Obviously your insulation material you can get it as sheets. Sheets which are like this, which have two foil sides, and the insulation materials on the inside. Come in various thicknesses, anything from 10mm up to 200mm, which in old money is 8 inches. Okay, various manufacturers, you'll find them on the internet. Okay, just watch out for seconds of these. There's some available which are seconds, which have big bubbles in them. So just be aware if you buy it and if it says second, it means it's got big bubbles formed inside of it, which obviously reduces the U value. Okay, price of sheets for the thin ones about 10 quid, and way up to about 80 quid for the really thick sheets. They normally come in 8x4 sheets. That's 1200mm by 2400mm normal sizes. They can be easily cut with a saw, normally a hand saw, or if you've got a big long knife will cut it. But generally a saw is best. Obviously watch out for the dust, wear a mask when you're cutting the stuff. It's not known to be toxic, but just in case. Right. Obviously your U values, you need to have them calculated. If you're doing stuff that requires planning permission, you'll need to show planning departments and basically building control calculations. There's lots of free software online you can get. Some of it's not as accurate as others. The Extrofirm calculation software is what I've been using for a bit. It's pretty okay, can't fault it. It's got a lot of stuff already built into it with already values, so it's pretty good, the Extrofirm version. Some of these websites where you have to pay them to calculate aren't worth it. They just guess. No, it's very difficult to actually know what they're actually calculating, because it's not a simple thing. Okay, you've got to know the R value. In the way of the R value, the higher the R value, the better. As opposed to the U value, where the lower the U value, the better. I'll put some links on my website to various calculators that you can download or use online. Okay, bye for now.